I watched this movie back in 2021 mid-pandemic, and I wasn't making videos back then. Before that, yes. Years after, yes, but not mid-pandemic. However, I did write a script on my opinions of the movie Greta, which I feel had a lot of potential, but just didn't work at all. I have not rewatched the movie since, and I will not be rewatching the movie to make this video, but I did want to make a video on my opinions of the movie Greta, so let's get started, shall we? Greta is a horror/thriller about Frances, a girl who just moved to New York City with her best friend after the passing of her own mother. But unlike Erica, her best friend, Frances is not like the other girls. She doesn't party, she reads. In fact, she is just so unlike other girls that when she sees someone has left their bag in the subway, she picks it up and brings it home. I mean, she was going to leave it at a lost and found. She isn't crazy after all, but there was no one there. She brought it home because she's going to give it back to its rightful owner. She opened the bag, left the money, and her friend and roommate tells her she's insane because it could have been a bomb. They are in New York after all. But also, even if it wasn't, why would you even bother to give it back? But you see, Frances is from a small town. The small town of Boston, Massachusetts. And people there are like that. People in Boston, they help each other. In my original script, you could see how fucking annoyed I was at that. I researched the crime rate in Boston, the price of living, how small of a town it actually is. I even for some reason mentioned Kurt and Rachel's NYC lofts in my original script. And you know how angry and crazy I gotta be because I just never talk about Glee. By the way, Greta is about 5 degrees off Kevin Bacon from Glee, but that's just information everybody knows, right? Yeah. Frances finds out the owner of this bag is a middle-aged woman called Greta, who, once she gets her bag back, invites Frances over for a cup of coffee. And since Frances is from such a small and friendly town where everybody knows each other, she accepts the older woman's invitation for coffee and goes inside her house. Greta does seem friendly. She's French, a widow, her daughter lives in Paris, and her dog has just passed away. The only really bad thing about her are her neighbors. They're just so noisy that Greta plays the piano to drown out the sound. Greta is giving mother vibes to our newly half-orphan Frances. She is giving lonely vibes, and we know any other girl would have just left it at that. But Frances isn't like the rest of us, goddammit. She will become best friends with Greta. A few hangouts later, Frances has ostracized herself from her friends. Friend, singular. And is once again at Greta's, this time for dinner. Mommy's cooking. Greta is cooking. And you know what's the best way to have dinner with your friends? Under candlelight. Frances, do me a favor and pick up some candles from the cupboard? Thank you. But Frances opens the wrong cabinet. Or I guess maybe it's the right one, because inside there are no candles, but in fact a bunch of bags that look exactly the same as the one Frances gave back to her. One of them even has Frances' name and phone number, and this other bag has another girl's name and phone number. And what about, let's just close this door because, you know, Frances is being called and things just got creepy. And you know what? This seems like a great time for an excuse to leave this place at once. Frances goes home, Erica tells her, "I told you so," and then scream bye. No, in fact, the movie has just begun because now Greta becomes obsessed with Frances. Calling all the time, texting, she even shows up at her place of work because she just wants to talk. One thing is that I felt everything happened too soon. There was not even a friendship building montage. How am I supposed to believe their friendship is real if there was not even a montage? That doesn't seem like actually important at all, but it was something I wrote down on my original scripts and I was just kind of thought it was funny. Frances tells Greta she is disgusting for taking advantage of a fragile young woman like her, and that she wants absolutely nothing to do with her, so she has to leave her alone. That doesn't happen. In fact, Greta becomes a full-on stalker who at first only stares at Frances from across the street while she works, but later she follows her home and the police won't do anything about it. Not even give her a restraining order because it wasn't that bad. It's not like she touched her. Next day, Greta is once again at Francis' place of work, ordering French wine. Francis is a server at a restaurant. Greta didn't just go to like a law firm and order some wine. She ordered some French wine because she's French, remember? Except not, because earlier on, Francis found out she's in fact from Hungary and her daughter isn't even studying in Paris. Her daughter killed herself some time ago after seriously injuring her hands and no longer being able to play the piano. Her daughter was just so afraid of her own mother, afraid of being put back in a box. She's also gay, so Greta is not only a stalker, but also a homophobe. Okay, so I actually thought the review was really well done, because earlier on, I just thought it was too on the nose for Greta to be a widow, whose daughter is a... This part was really well done, because earlier I thought it was too on the nose for Greta to be a widow whose daughter is away, who just lost her dog, but in fact those were all lies, weaves to fool naive girls from small towns such as Boston, Massachusetts. Time goes by and nothing changes. Greta is still after Francis, still calling, still texting, probably even sent her a bunch of friendship requests on Facebook, because Francis does look like the type who would still have Facebook and not Instagram. Because she's not like other girls. Francis actually ends up meeting up with Greta to tell her that she herself was wrong for how she acted with her, and that she is in fact now going out of town to spend some time with her father. Those are lies. Pretty little lies. Liar, liar, pants on fire, and Greta knows it. But she pretends to believe it. But just like Fall Out Boy says, the best part of belief is the lie. The next day, Francis wakes up, 2 a.m., stalker-free, she's on her phone. But wait, that feels like something a girl would do, and Francis isn't like the rest of us. Quick, Francis, do something other girls wouldn't do. Oh, I know. See that random mug filled with coffee that you didn't brew and don't know how long it has been sitting there on the counter for? You should grab it and put it in the microwave. I'm sure that'll taste amazing. I'm sure that's a great idea. But mostly, I know that's something other girls would not do. Oh my god, it was chloroform all along? Francis wakes up inside a toy box because that's where bad girls go to. Oh, so maybe that's the box her daughter was afraid of. And not like a metaphorical box of heteronormativity. So maybe Greta isn't a homophobe after all. Francis is held hostage in the old woman's house and forced to learn to play the piano just like her daughter. And just like her daughter, whenever she plays a wrong note, she gets her hands hit. At night, she's drugged up to fall asleep and hidden in a secret room behind a curtain behind the piano, where we once thought was the loud neighbor's house. But now no, it was in fact just another girl being held captive. Neighbors, not so bad after all. Probably months go by. Francis has tried to escape once before. She even hurt Greta pretty bad, removing one of her fingers in the process. And she also found the dead body of the previous girl. But after that failed attempt, she just kinda kept drugged up in the room behind the curtain, and honestly, she's getting kind of boring. Greta thought this would be a great friendship. Come on, Francis, you gotta step it up or Greta might just have to leave yet another bag all alone in a subway car, hoping for her next victim to find it and bring it back to her. And another girl shows up at her door. She says she's new in town from Texas, probably a small town like Houston, and she's there because she found Greta's bag and wants to give it back. She's invited over for coffee. She hears some banging on the wall behind the piano. Such loud neighbors. Once they have their coffee, Greta has to pick something up in the kitchen, but she feels dizzy and doesn't seem to know what's going on. The Texas girl says that it once happened to a friend of hers and that it's really normal to feel dizzy after drinking a cup of coffee mixed with oh so much chloroform. Greta down, wake up. It's our girl's girl Erica to the rescue. She had been looking for Francis for months, looking for the bag in so many different subway cars, until she finally found her. Erica goes straight to the curtain behind the piano and rescues her roommate, Chloe is very weak and glad her friend is here to once again say, I told you so. They trap Greta in her children's toy box and live happily ever after. And that's Greta, a very whatever movie that for some reason has been living rent-free in my mind forever now, and I just don't know why, but now I've put it into the ether. I have finally made a video about it and I can be free. My name is Sofia. I like movies, good ones and bad ones, but apparently hate very meh whatever movies. You can like this video whether you thought it was good or bad. You can subscribe for more and tell me in the comments below if you have watched Greta, what did you think of it, and should I keep reheating my coffee and making videos I have before and or rewriting scripts? Bye.